Channel 69 Downtown News.
Hello everyone, I'm Robert Stone.
And I'm James Dickey.
After being on a leave of absence for 4 years due to circumstances I'm sure me and James would not like to discuss. James. That's not what it looks like. We're back and better than ever.
That's right, Robert. Those 4 years took a real toll on my body. Not in a bad way. After my wife left me, I had to really start to turn my life around. I moved to El Paso, Texas for a couple years and started raising a pack of Australian swamp rats while also running a bed and breakfast out of the back of my camper. And it was a huge hit.
On the contrary, James, those 300 rats you did have living in your camper caused a bit of a snake problem for your bed and breakfast goers. Isn't that right, James?
You're right, Robert. 31-year-old Abu Zareen Hussein, who is accused of having married his 10-foot-long pet cobra in a situation where some people seem to think he believes the cobra is the reincarnation of his dead girlfriend. It's a shame.
What the hell is you doing?
While he denies the reports, these pictures seem to tell a different story.
That's right, James. I don't even blame the guy. Sometimes you just...
No pun intended.
Sometimes you just get so lonely in life, it seems like the only thing you can do is just pet your snake over and over again.
Robert, you're not reading any of the script.
I'll just get it out here, James. I'm just gonna get it out here. No man, woman, or child has touched my snake within the last 10 years. I have been the only one to actually pet my own snake. Let's stop messing around. Let's get down to business. I'm done with this bull.
The last 2 years we've been searching for the Moscow brothers, Vic and Vlad. And I think we have something that you guys might want to see.
This will be the second to last time, for the last time we sign off here at Channel 69 Downtown News.
We all have heroes, people that we idolize, whether it being the skills that they possess or the strength of character they exhibit before us. It is our own human nature to look up to the individuals we revere. People like Michael Jordan, Deion Sanders, the great Wayne Gretzky, Bob Ross, Colt McCoy, as well as Victor and Vladimir. Two lost lambs from Trenton, New Jersey. Our story starts in a shed with Vic.
Well, it was my shed that we found him in. One year when I was 8 years old, my father was putting up the Christmas lights and he ventured off to the shed to get a couple extra strands. And there he was, little Vicky, beautiful little 6-year-old boy. Had the gleam of Jesus Christ, and I knew from that day that we needed to keep him there.
It was weird, you know, two guys that grew up right out of Trenton, New Jersey with real thick Russian accents. It's not something you hear about every day.
My pop, just like any father would decide, I'm sure, that we should leave the little man there since he seemed to be doing well for himself. Well, one day I decided to break that rule. Brought little Vicky in the house. It was like my own E.T. to me. He was mine, and I was his.
Vladimir was also one of a kind. He was smart, tough, and passionate. But if you got too close, there would absolutely be terrifying problems.
Unfortunately, Vlad actually grew up in an extremely abusive family, and it kind of shakes me up every time I think about it, actually. Most of the time, when you hear that, you think, oh, the kids might be the ones being abused. No, not in this case. It was actually Vlad doing most of the abusing, whether it be with his siblings or even with his parents. Again, you have to remember, this kid was 7 years old, taking advantage of full-grown adults. If I was his parents, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be actually kind of impressed. Something not too many people know that I'll disclose for this documentary is that me and Vlad had a past relationship before our encounter at the gym. We grew up in the same foster home, and while many of our other foster brothers and sisters were too afraid to bring Vlad his breakfast in the morning, which I don't blame them, he was in a straitjacket chained to the radiator. I was the one brave enough to bring him his breakfast, but you know what, now that I think about it, I wasn't too brave. I actually used my foster mother's cane to stand a few feet away from him so I could just push it over so I don't really have to get too close to him, because like my brothers and sisters, I was a little scared of the guy.
As both Vic and Vlad individually grew older, things started to get a little out of hand.
I knew something was really special about Vic the day I came home from my Pilates class and I found him underneath my kitchen table with an unnecessary amount of 5-hour energy drinks around him.
After looking over Vlad's high school transcript, there was actually a few instances I came across where Vlad actually tried to send his teachers to the principal's office, and he succeeded.
It was me who introduced them two to the gym. And from there on out, that's all she wrote.
Hi, my name is Greg O'Hara, and I am the head of the Winthrop University tour guide team. I first met Vic and Vladimir one day when I gave them a tour of my beautiful gym, and they met my wife, and it was a beautiful event.
How they met was quite extraordinary. They almost immediately clicked. What was most fascinating was how they both knew each other's unorthodox, one-of-a-kind workouts.
These two were like protein and shakers, plates and dumbbells, pain and gain. These two were fitness.
Me, Vic, and Vlad became pretty good friends with each other when they were at my gym. Me and my wife Sarah, Vic, and Vlad all developed a very nice relationship, but one day I found out that Vic and Vlad might have had too close of a relationship with my wife.
You know, the normal human when they go to the gym is start off maybe with a nice stretch out, warm up. These two, no. They'd start out with a duo benching 450 for 10 sets, 8 reps at least each set.
There was one instance where Vlad was benching 980 pounds just 30 seconds after he beat pneumonia. I mean, it was incredible. The bar completely split in half along with his right pectoral muscle. Do you know what the really incredible part was? He got on the treadmill to force all the blood to his legs because he was bleeding out all over my floor.
Over time, I couldn't really keep up with them two. They decided to verbally and physically neglect me. But I didn't mind. I almost welcomed it. Anyway, I knew that's where the railroad ended for me. My run was officially over.
And so with Virgil's guidance now gone, Vic started hanging out with Greg O'Hara more often. And that is where things started to change.
The breakup, I thought we weren't talking about this. Oh wait, so you mean to tell me you're talking about Greg O'Hara? I mean, the guy's an absolute nut job. I heard one story about how he pretended to be a janitor just so he can go to the 5th grade seasonal talent shows. I mean, if that isn't weirder than Bruce Jenner just suddenly falling off the face of the earth, I don't know what is. I can't believe they come out with that guy.
I saw that Vic and Vlad had just finished a very strenuous workout. and I had a fresh chocolate muscle milk ready for them. And Vic walked up to me, and I said, Vic, drink this. I should have known. Vladimir hates muscle milk. Drink this. Drink it. Oh.
I told you not to drink this shit!
Oh, God.
Idiot!
Oh.
Get out!
Oh.
Fucking idiot!
Oh, God. Oh, no.
I knew it'd be those damn protein powders that took him down. The muscle milk, man. The damn muscle milk, man! I'm sorry. I just get emotional. It's my brothers, man. Damn.
Who do I think of when I think of great lifters? What do you expect me to say? Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dexter Jackson, Ronnie Coleman, maybe? Who do you think I think of? Who do you think I think of? Victor and Vladimir.
And so with Vic and Vlad splitting up, the world wasn't nearly the same as it once was. That wasn't the end of Vic and Vlad. As we all know, James Dickey and Robert Stone are always up to something bigger and badder for the audience of Downtown News.
After working to lose his Russian accent and even starting a family, surprisingly, Vlad did pretty well for himself after the surprise disappearance of a highly regarded CEO. Vlad somehow took over his position and actually increased the company's profits by 66% in the first quarter. Never been done over there before. We're here at Vlad's house. I think he's inside. We've heard a couple sketchy things about him. We're here trying to get these two together for one last lift.
We've been searching for him for months, and I think we finally found him.
We hear a lot of rumors, and we're about to find out if those things are true.
Vlad!
Vlad, listen!
Listen, you guys got the wrong guy. I gotta go home with my family.
Vlad.
I'm an accountant now.
You and Vic,
No,
together
my
for
name's
one more
Paxton.
lift.
No, your name is
You and
No,
Vic.
it's
Remember,
not.
Your name is
think
Vladimir.
back, Vlad. Think about
Think-
these. Think about them.
About
It's under him. It's under him.
Think hard. Vlad.
Vlad and Vic.
Vlad.
Vlad and Vic.
Vlad.
After Vlad left Vic, it all was downhill from there. Couldn't keep up with his gym payments. His bench press went down, his squat, even his hand cleans. I told him he could come back and live with me, but I knew I couldn't leave an animal like that caged up. He's meant to be out in the world, doing his own thing. But he was at a real low. A real low.
Well, I mean, after hearing strange reports about a weird man running around, hiding in people's trees, sleeping up there, like, who else did you think it was? Me? I knew for a fact it was Vic. I mean, all the guy used to talk about was how big of a fan he was of Jennifer Lawrence and how her fictional character Katniss in Hunger Games slept in trees. I mean, come on. Safety first, right?
Like we ever worry about safety, Robert?
If I worried about safety, I wouldn't have 15 kids.
No pun intended.
That's right. Oh, he has to be around here somewhere.
Asked the neighbors. They said they saw somebody fitting his description around here a couple days ago.
Really?
Yep.
they file a police report? Wait, is that?
Isn't it Vic? That's Victor?
Tell me that's Vic.
Oh my God.
Tell me that's Vic.
Victor? Victor?
This is a mess.
Vic, stop, Vic. Vic, it's us. Vic, you don't want to do this again. Vic, you need to stop. It's us. Think. It's us. It's us. We're here for you. Okay? No pun. Well, at first, our executive producers that came up with the idea of bringing the two back together for a documentary. And while me and Robbie, of course, thought it was a great idea, we'd love to do it, we had a little bit of a problem, I'd say, half the way through filming, where, I don't know, Vic maybe decided to burn Robbie's house down. So that might have cut filming for a little bit.
When I heard them two reporters was bringing them back together, oh, it was the best day of my life when I heard that news. Everything was better in my life. The stress was gone. My bench press went off 15 pounds. My trainer couldn't believe it. And you want to know the real reason LeBron went back to Cleveland? It's because of them two. None of that stuff you're hearing on the news.
Did I ever think Robbie was going to get back on camera after burning half his hair off in a house fire? No, I don't think anyone did. That luscious, seductive hair that man had, it was just something to look at.
Oh, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Oh, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. I get the jumpity chip chaps just thinking about Vic and Vlad getting back together, man. Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me excited. Do you know that feeling when Grandma gives you your favorite flavor of sherbet? Oh.
After taking a break with filming due to the circumstances we talked about before with the whole hair situation with Robbie, I did what any man would have done. I took him on a couple's retreat to Trinidad, where, of course, there's nude beaches, private performances from David Archuleta and Maroon 5, and of course a lot of tequila.
While no one thought it would be possible to get Robert Stone in front of a camera without his astonishing mane of golden hair, James, as always, is able to jerk out the softness inside of Robert and make him come right back into his arms.
Well, after a series of soft whispers and a lot of eye gazing, Rob finally agreed to come back on the set and do the documentary with me. On one condition, though, I had to help him rub various creams on his burnt scalp. Things along the names of Olay, L'Oreal, Neutrogena, my personal favorite, actually.
Vladimir, I gotta talk to you.
Not while I'm lifting.
It's important.
No.
It's about Vic. What if I told you we could remake magic?
No, impossible.
Dreams really do
Vic's
come true.
dead. It's impossible. Get away.
Listen, Vic, I know the past couple years have been tough on you, you know. Stopped lifting, became homeless, lived in that box on the side of the Verrazano for a couple years. But I've been working on something that might just cheer you up. Something I've been working on for a couple months now. Trust me, buddy. I got you on this one.
Vladimir.
What we had is done. Die! 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 No! 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 Vic, is it really you? Mr. No Pun said you were back. Oh my God. It's you.
With the satisfaction of finally bringing Victor and Vladimir back together, Robert and James knew it was time for both Channel 69 Downtown News and the Moscow Brothers to part ways once and for all.
Vic, Vlad, let's go catch up. Let's catch a train. One more thing. We need something for the ride. Take this.
This is Robert Stone,
This is James Dickey.
and this has been Channel 69 Downtown News.
We're signing off.
The last words they both said to me. Hold that thought real quick. The last words they both said to me were in Russian. I had absolutely no idea what that meant at all. So you know what I did? I went home and I put it in on Google Translator thinking, oh, well, maybe I'll know it now. Did I know? Not at all. I did what any 39-year-old father of 15 would have done. I threw it in on Urban Dictionary. What did that mean? You don't want to know.
James Dickey and Robert Stone left the gym with a sense of gratification, knowing that Victor and Vladimir would live out their lives in peace and harmony. Little did anyone realize that the meaning of peace and harmony for the Moscow brothers meant something entirely different.
Well, I personally went to the scene of the crime, and to be honest with you, I still just can't wrap my head around it. It just doesn't make any sense.
The day I found out Victor and Vlad died, I went straight to my mother's shed, stripped down naked, and I cried for 6 months straight. 6 months straight. But then what got me out of it was, I knew they were together. Oh, I know they're in hell. I'll just tell them to save me a fucking seat.
It still smells like his sweat.
The bodies was never recovered from the scene of the crime, and I don't like to say that the train hit them. I like to say that they hit the train. I still leave my shed open every night, leave a couple of dog treats in there, because that's what Vicky used to like when I did that to him. And every Christmas Eve, I leave out the 5-hour energies, and every Christmas Day, they're gone. You know, maybe he's Santa Claus.
I see that I hold a sanctuary in their hearts and in the hearts of their descendants. Generations hence. It is a far, far better thing that I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go to that I have ever known.
I failed you. You trust me, and I failed you.
Can I change your mind about leaving Vision?
Remember what you said to me about those weights that never get lifted? I can't take it anymore, the injustice. Nobody's gonna know who saved an entire gym.
Yeah, they will. It was Vic and Vlad.
Vic and Vlad's will was not amended to reflect their most modest estate. Nonetheless, there are heavy assets to dispose of. The contents of the remaining one-year gym membership are to be given in its entirety to Virgil F. Wu. The protein and shaker cups are to be left for the citizens of Trenton, New Jersey, on condition that the protein never goes bad and that the cups are never shook too lightly. In conclusion, It states that all of the assets should be used for merely one purpose and one purpose only. Simply kicking ass and taking names. Now, if anyone needs me for any sort of help, I will be hanging out under the bridge with all my friends, as I usually do, around 8 tonight after work.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy?
James, wake up. I swear to God, it's pre-workout. I'm going to the gym right after this segment. I swear.
Alright.